My name's Mark Upton. I work at the Floyd campus at Georgia Northwestern, and I teach marketing and the marketing program, but that means I teach everything from entrepreneurship, small business management, business regulations and compliance, and advertising, and about 2,800 other classes, it feels like. But Fran's one of my students. So glad to see you. So what I'm going to talk to you about today is something that's kind of near and dear to me, and I literally had to talk the group into letting me do this. This is what I want to talk about. I get stopped all the time by students, by people in the public, they know the job I do, and they ask me, hey, I've got this idea. Okay? As soon as it starts with that, I get a little worried every time because I go, uh-oh, here we go, right? I've got this idea. What do you think? Okay? And then they tell it to me. Well, most of the time when people tell you about their idea, they have this little small something that they've kind of come up with, and it's not developed in any way in their mind. It's nothing more than just a nugget of wisdom that hit them. And by the way, that is entrepreneurial, and I appreciate that. We're going to talk about that. Thinking when you're out and people, and thinking, I can do it better than these people, or these people didn't quite have what I wanted. That's good. That's entrepreneurial. But it takes way more than that. Okay? And that's kind of why I want to talk about this topic, because it became something kind of near and dear to me, because I kind of felt like I want to be able to look at people and say something more than, that's not really a very good idea. You know? I didn't want to just go around squashing dreams and going back and going, well, let's kind of squash that person's dream, okay? So what I want to talk to you about today is how to turn an idea into a business opportunity. So the first thing it says is idea to opportunity. Not every business idea you may have is an entrepreneurial opportunity. Matter of fact, notice the second sentence. That's where the heaviness comes, right? In fact, most ideas are not viable business possibilities. Why? Because there's a lot more to it than that, right? You have to decide. Okay, let's say you're passionate about something, okay? I even have a quote here that I wrote down the other day, and I brought it with me. It says that, you know, this is quoted by a man, I didn't steal it from him, but he was quoting somebody else that says, the ones who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. Right? You may think that sounds awfully motivational today, but the idea is whatever you want to do and you want to change, good, go do it. But once again, there's still more to it than that, right? It also says, let passion be the guiding principle for your careers, right? So you got to be passionate about what you want to do, but you've also got to realize that not everything you're passionate about isn't necessarily a market for. You know, I can be passionate about quilt making, but there may not be a market for quilts. I can be passionate about, you know, all kinds of things, but if there's not a market for it, right? There's not a, you know, and there's not a need for it in the area that you're in, then it doesn't necessarily make a very good idea. We're going to talk about more things too. So, continuing on here. What are the characteristics of an opportunity? In other words, not an idea, an opportunity. It says a business opportunity has a unique characteristic that distinguishes it from an ordinary idea. And here are those things. An opportunity is based on what consumers need or want. So what I want you to do for a moment is stop. Think about the idea you have in your head. And think to yourself, is there a need or a want for what I'm wanting to offer in this market? And by the way, when you ask yourself that, are you answering it with your opinion or with fact? See, I don't care what your opinion is. Don't take that personally. Opinions are, you know, very common. You all heard the saying, right? Opinions are very common. So I ask people, they tell me, like, look, I really make great peanut brittle. I think I'm going to start a peanut brittle business. And I look at them and say, oh, there's a lot of people in this area want about peanut brittle. And they'll say, well, surely there are.
What about organic timber?
I don't know. See, this is what I'm saying. I need for you guys to find out. And I think what most people that stop and ask me want me to do is they think that I'm full of mounds of research. And they say, hey, is this a good idea? And they tell me, yeah, because I did some research. I don't know. And I'm not being mean-spirited. I just don't know. You need to find that out. That's your job as the entrepreneur. And if you can't find it already printed somewhere and somebody did the research, guess who had to do the research? You do. You have to go ask people, right? So how do you know if something consumers need it or want it? We've either got to find the evidence already having been done by somebody else. Maybe the city did it, right? Maybe the Chamber of Commerce did it. Maybe they found out that, yeah, there's a need for this, that, a certain type of business, and we don't have enough of this. Great. But if they didn't do it, guess what you got to do? You got to decide what type of research I'm going to do. I'm going to do a focus group. I'm going to hand out surveys. I'm going to go ask people on Broad, Main Street, whatever. Go down. You know, and then you got to ask them. You got to tabulate the evidence and go, what did I find out? And trust me when I tell you that people think research is not useful. I teach a marketing research class. Fran will be taking it in the summer. Right? I teach a marketing research class. We do marketing research projects, and every time we do them, the students are surprised by the results. They're absolutely surprised by the results, and they're astonished by what they can actually come up with from a decision standpoint based upon a small research study, where they literally only asked 100 people or so. Okay? So if you'll go do the research, and actually, here's what else you'll be shocked by. If you really start looking at secondary research, there's a lot of information already out there. They can tell you, like the gentleman just told you, what the median income is in Polk County. And that tells you whether or not you want to sell yachts. There's also no water. I don't know if y'all up here. I'm just saying. Okay, it's not a big enough piece of water anyway, okay? All right, so the second thing, and are they willing to buy sufficiently? Had a young lady do a business plan years ago for a scrapbook store. She's a big scrapbook. Okay? She's passionate about it. Great, write your business plan, go for it. She did all the stuff, research, looked things up, talked to people, did everything, and at the end, on the very last page, she said, I would never do this business. Now, I'm not trying to squash your plan if you plan on doing a scrapbook store. Here's what she found out. Then when she really started questioning the people about how much they would buy, even the people who were scrapbook, there's really not a lot. Everything's nickel and diamond. You know, it's like you can make a little bit, that's little bitty stuff. And she said, I wouldn't be able to generate enough money from what they're willing to spend, you know, to warrant the store and the merch, because you couldn't do it, right? So are they willing to spend enough money and buy sufficiently? So it's not just about other people, do people need or want it? Are they willing to buy sufficiently enough to support your business? Especially as you have that in your mind. Now, by the way, we're going to get in a minute to changing maybe your business idea to where however much they are willing to buy will support it. In other words, we don't always have to do things as big as you planned on doing it. Had a guy a few years ago want to start a club, and he wanted to go $1 million club in Rome. In Rome. Stories, you know, he had jazz on the bottom and whatever in the middle. Oh yeah, we'd be out here up top. I mean, I'm going in Rome. You know? So what he left with was an idea for a much smaller club. And maybe that's the right idea. You just got to, not every idea has to be as big as you want it to be. Maybe you can maybe we can make it into an opportunity by just trimming the fat a little bit and making it a little more palatable for the community that we're in, right? For the people that we're trying to market to. Frank, do you want to say something? Go ahead.
I was going to tell you, you can take a nod and take a look at what, okay, Walmart sells scrapbook, 8-foot section. That big store only devotes 8 foot, so that's blue right there.
Well, and here's what she found out also. I didn't add this, but she brings up another point. This young lady wanted to write this, said she was going to focus on just scrapbook for the scrapbook enthusiast. Right? They're out there. Don't laugh at the scrapbook enthusiasts, okay? So, but the problem was also that Walmart does have a section, and so does Hobby Lobby, and so does numerous scrap stores. So then the other problem is like if you're only going to buy a little bit, are you really going to go to some scrapbook superstore, or are you just going to go by Walmart and grab it, or Hobby Lobby, and they can sell it really cheap? And they didn't have some of the things she was going to have, but still, nonetheless, that's what she found out. You might do research and find scrapbook would be great here. I don't know. I'm just telling you what she found out in our area, okay? The last thing is that can you sell it at a high enough price to sustain the business? People forget this. They seem to think that price will work itself out. Listen, when you hear that number he threw out, you threw it out, right? Median income below $20,000. That speaks to you about certain things that will work, and things that won't.
That means you can't put a restaurant in town that their median plate is $25, $30.
Yeah.
They're not going to.
And it would be much more, possible to be successful with something more in the price range what people expect to pay. Okay? And listen, I'm not against niche marketing. Trust me when I tell you that. You may be thinking, hey, you could be wrong, but there's still this group that will. Look, if you take the full class, trust me, I'm a believer in niche marketing. Okay? We've got numerous businesses in Rome that deal with a small clientele of less than 200 people, and they're doing well. We got numerous boutiques in Rome that probably deal with 150 to 200 women, but all of those 150 to 200 women spend about $5,000 to $10,000 a year on clothes.
Yes.
Right? That's a lot of money if y'all start adding it up. And you got a small place, and I'm the only person that works in here. If I can make an income about $70,000, just, that's good stuff. Okay? So we got the bicycle shop in Rome that sells $1,000 bikes. They got bike enthusiasts in there. Not everybody's going to run in there because I'm in there thinking I'm going to buy a bike. And I'm like, woo! The prices are high in here, right? I just wanted a bike. I didn't want to, bike up. I didn't want to, they're high. Do I?
You didn't want to make the paper on the house.
I'm like, I can buy a motorcycle for this price. So are they willing to pay enough? By the way, how do you find that out? You got to ask the question, right? You got to do the research. Are people charging that in towns like this? And you go look at a business similar to this in another city that's similar to Cedartown and see if are they able to charge that amount of money? But by the way, we had Hal Floyd,
Yes.
right? Who is running an upscale salon in Cedartown.
Successful. Very successful.
So not everything, you don't always have to look and just say, well, everything's got to be cheap. That's the first thing most small businesses do. That's why I like to have this up here. Most small businesses think I got to charge a low amount of money.
It is.
Because we usually typically are always thinking, I wish I could get a better price. But what you really need to think is, how much can I charge? And I know y'all are going, that just sounds mean. No, it doesn't. It's called business. How much, listen, there's a statement in my book that says, what will the market bear?
Yes.
Right.
Okay? If I'm charging you 50 and I've got $50 an hour to come get rid of the bugs in your house, right? I'm blanking on what I need to put in there, right? If that's what I'm charging and I'm covered up, I can't even get people scheduled. If I'm running a salon and I can't even get people in the chair, people call me and make the schedule a month out, go up on the price. And guess what? Guess what? Some of the customers are going to go away. Guess what else? Who cares? You need some of them to go away. I just told you had too many. You can't even schedule them all. You know why small businesses don't make it at that huge rate we threw out earlier? Because they don't charge enough. Y'all keep trying to give your services away. Are you worth something?
Yes.
Has everybody here got an idea of what they'd like to make when they run this business?
Yeah.
And how much I need to make to pay my bills?
Yeah.
Guess what? Watch this math. How much you charge times how much you sell minus expenses equals how much you make.
Right.
I know that was simple, but folks, that's how it goes. If you don't charge enough, yeah, you may sell a lot, but you still ain't making enough.
Yeah.
Right?
And you have to listen to your customer. I have so many small businesses that I work with, they do not listen to their customer.
Right. And listen, the price you charge for something speaks to somebody about the quality of it.
That's right.
I roll in your place and you do massages and you tell me, yeah, we're going to charge $50 an hour for massage, I'm probably leaving.
Because I'm probably not going to get a good massage.
I'm afraid of what you said. I wasn't even trying to go there. Y'all get my point though, right? If I walk into a business, they say we're running a special today. We're doing billing for $5 a piece. What? I'm like, no, I'm not doing that, right? Because I'm afraid what you filling it with is a hammer and a, no, we're not doing that. Right? We're not really using, they're going to look at me and say, we're going to save you some money, and we're not really using that Steve, we're just going to use some liquor. No, right? You got your price that you charge for something speaks to people about the quality of it. These men start selling their service too cheap, it tells people that they're doing something slightly less effective than somebody else. Okay? Especially when you're trying to sell something that you want people to take you seriously, and I'm high quality, and I'm doing what I do well and better than everybody else. Don't be afraid to charge people what you should charge and what you are worth. But let me say one other thing. That doesn't mean you get to charge whatever you want. There's a price where you get too far and the volume goes down, and now you're not making enough money. So you've got to find that price point, right? It's called equilibrium if you're studying in economics. that price point where the demand equals the supply that you want to provide, okay? Who's got a point? People.
I was just gonna say, Marcus, you were talking about, value associated with cost, or what customers want to pay. You brought up an excellent point last week when you said it's not based on your wallet.
No. No.
So I will remind you to.
Oh, look, here's
That's
the
an
thing.
excellent point. It's not
Here's
based
the
on
thing.
your wallet.
Yeah, you guys have got to stop putting the price that you think that somebody would be willing to pay for it and get more caught up in, you know, what is this worth? What do other people charge for this? Because value to a person is not about being cheap.
Mhm.
See, the problem is we've taken the word value and made it mean cheap.
Yeah.
Value means it's worth what I paid for it. Okay? They said there's a statistic that Lexus gave, something like 90-something% of the people who ever bought a Lexus would buy another one, and they would define it as a good value. And they paid $55,000 for that car, right? So it doesn't have to be cheap to be considered a value. It just has to be worth what I paid for it and what I had to give up. Okay? And by the way, you give up more money for things too.
That's right.
I give up my time, I give up my patience, right? When I have to wait too long to get my hair cut, I need it. I'm giving something up. If I have to drive all the way across town to find you and you got a low price, so what? I'm not driving.
And stop trying to compete with the big box stores. You
No.
can never compete.
They're going to win on price. You got to beat them everywhere
Every
else.
time, and they're going to put you out of business if you
That's
try to
right.
compete.
You got to beat them on service
That's
and
right.
change and being the person who can respond quicker to customer needs. I told this quote from Jeffrey Timmons, although I gave the credit card, so I didn't steal it. An opportunity has the quality of being attractive, durable, and timely, and anchored in a product or service that creates or adds value for its buyer or end user. Okay? So that's what you got to be deciding about your idea today. Does it fit all those things? Does it have the quality of being attractive, first of all? By the way, you know what's not attractive? You doing what everybody else is doing. I call those Me Too strategies. I'm so tired of them making curls. Excuse me for putting it that way. Me Too strategy. What are you going to do? I'm going to do this. And I'm like, well, they got 4 or 5 others. Yeah, but mine's going to be just slightly different. That's a Me Too strategy. Stop doing what everybody else is doing and come up with something different. I need true entrepreneurial people. Where are they? People tell me they're entrepreneurial, but they don't come up with anything that's really different. Search for something that really isn't around, that's needed, and let's go there. Instead of keep doing, I'm going to do exactly what everybody else is doing, but I'm just going to do slightly different. Okay? So, that's not attractive if you're doing what everybody else is doing. Does your idea, is it durable? That means can it last? Right? Will it stand the test of time? Timely, that means that you come out with it at the right time. Sometimes you have a great idea, it would be better if you wait about a year. Or it might have been better if you'd done it about a year ago. Right? That means you might have missed the window.
So I shouldn't open up a store selling 8-track.
You know, I think there might be the people want to buy that as retro. I don't know. You have to do the research to find out. But yeah, typically that's the problem. Is a lot of ideas that people have, they really aren't their idea. They kind of stole it from somewhere else, which means it's already been done. So it's probably not a good idea to think. So have you come up with something that's really different? You know, have you really looked and said, there's a need, there's something we don't have? And by the way, I said this last time too. I want you to get out thinking about just, I want somebody to think this way from this point forward. If you haven't done it yet, you're thinking about doing it, okay? What do customers not even know they want? Don't go ask them what they want. What do they not even know that they want? What can I provide that customers don't even know they want? Right? See, we get too caught up in saying, hey, what do you need? What do you want? And we ask questions, we write them down. Well, that's good. That's entrepreneurial. I like it. But you know what's really entrepreneurial? When you sit in a room somewhere, or you and a buddy or somebody, and y'all go, you know what people in this town don't even know they want? They don't even know they need it. But when I bring it, they're going to be like, oh my God, I got to get some of that. Right? That's the way I want you to think. Stop thinking like, what do people tell me they want? What do they not even know they want? Right? That you can provide. All right? So we got to think that way. Timmons defines an idea this way. 4 characteristics. It's an opportunity. It's an idea with these 4 characteristics. Attractive to customers. We said that. Works in your environment. Your environment has certain socioeconomic situations. It's got certain economic development situations. You know, there are things that you have to work within, whether you realize it or not. So an idea that might be great in Rome might not work here, but an idea that might be great here might not work in Rome. Okay? So you've got to decide not only as you're starting your idea As you're thinking about your idea, is it viable for this area? Does it work in this environment? Okay? Based upon the people who are here, the competitors.
Yes.
By the way, real quick hint, you make your life a lot easier when you start a business in a not so competitive environment. When you jump into an environment that's extremely competitive, everything's harder.
What about this, Mark? What about your ability to get whatever goods you need to produce that product? And I'm thinking
Exactly. Availability of raw materials. And even labor.
And labor, yes.
Yeah. I mean, if you're trying to start an engineering firm around here, you can go find all the people we need to be able to do engineering. You know? I mean, can I find tax preparers if I want to start a tax business? I mean, and typically, a lot of things are available, but, you have to look. I know when Pirelli was talking about coming to Rome, I mean, one thing they want to know is the people here with the abilities that we need, and they work with us to train people on certain things that we can take care of. That's one of the reasons they came to Rome. And I'm not just saying that pass on back, but they were being smart. That's what I'm saying, going, where can I get these people that have the training I need? All right, so can we execute a window of opportunity that exists, which means here's the time frame I'm looking to try to do it. Will this work? Can I make it work in that time frame? And then the resource and the skill, do you have it? That's what that means. Do you have the resource and skill to create that business? But you got to be really honest with yourself. I have a lot of young people, 21, 22 years old, want to start a multi-million-dollar business and manage 7,800 people. And I'm like, dude, you're like 21. Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm a leader. I'm like, no, I mean, you can be, but right now, let's go with 7 or 8 people that you manage, Let's try to go with that. And by the way, investors don't typically like to invest in businesses with people who never managed a business and want to suddenly go, borrow $300,000 to start some big business. They kind of go like, I don't think so. So, do you have the resources and skills to create the business? All right, so opportunity is situational. Real quick, I'm running out of time. The problem is one example of an opportunity entrepreneurs need to be trained to recognize. Where is there a problem in your area, right, that you can fix? That can be simple sometimes. As simple as there's no place in town that fixes bicycles. I can be a bicycle fixer, right? Nobody in town fixes computers. I can fix computers. Nobody in town painting houses. I can paint houses. But sometimes that problem's a little hard to see. So you got to get down, where's the problem, that we're missing here. Maybe it's just that there's not a particular type of environment that people are looking for. That's a problem. They go to Rome to go to eat somewhere because they can't find a certain type of place here. Or they drive, somewhere else. So where's the problem, right? A changing situation or trend. These create opportunities every time. Every time something changes trend-wise, situation-wise. Business closes or business opens. Might be a good place to throw up a subway. I know that happened out there, in Rome. When Pirelli came to town, we got a Olympian and then the Hardee's showed up, and all of a sudden all these businesses started saying, why? Because they know there's about 2,000 people that roll in and out there between the school and the places behind it. They're like, uh-oh. So situation or trends, what's happening? There are no rules about when or where an opportunity might appear, change, and flux, create opportunities. So by the way, when you're an entrepreneurial spirit, and I hope all of you are, then you've got to train your mind to say, oh, here's some change. Is there an opportunity here? Here's some flux in our society. Is there an opportunity there? Okay? And then the 5 roots of opportunity. I'm really proud of myself. Notice how this is sitting over some roots. That's pretty cool, Bob.
That's pretty.
So 5 roots of opportunity. Problems that your business can solve, like we just said, changes in laws, situations, and trends. Invention of totally new products, which is a little more difficult, but maybe somebody in the room got an inventor type of spirit. You got some idea of a product we don't even know about yet. But make sure to protect yourself if you have something like that. Go get it patented, trademarked, whatever. Okay, music, art. Yeah, that'll be part of the classes we're going to take. Absolutely, in the business regs part. Competition. If you can find a way, I love this part, and this will kind of finish me up. If you can find a way to beat the competition on price, location, quality, reputation, reliability, or speed, then you've got a real possible opportunity for success. How many of you can think about a business right now and you thought when you walked in, walked out, or whatever, said, I can do better than that? Right? I can be faster, I can be better, I can provide better service, I can get it to them faster, give better quality, I can beat that, right? I'm thinking almost every time I pull through McDonald's.
And Mark, if you think that, all that you say to yourself, I'm not going back there.
Yeah, that's what she's talking about.
I'm
Right.
not going back there.
So the folks just thinking, boy, that made me mad. Sometimes you have to look and go, is there an opportunity here? Can I open a restaurant and provide better meals than that? Can I open a business and fix bicycles better than that person's fixing bicycles now because they really don't know what they're doing? Is there an opportunity somewhere where you can meet people? By the way, I want to talk about one real quick, and I probably won't get through, Jim. Price. That does not mean I'm willing to take less price. I just talked about it earlier. A lot of people want to say they're going to beat people on price, and I say, well, how are you going to beat them on price? They say, I'm just going to charge less. Folks, that doesn't work. Because if that's all you got, whoever that is, your competitors are going to run their price down too. What you've got to do is, if you're going to beat them on price, really what they should put there is that we need to beat them on cost. You've got to be more efficient. You've got to do things better and more efficiently so that your cost to have that product sitting on the counter is less, which means when I charge less, I'm still making the same thing they make. But I would rather see small businesses have the mindset of not being so caught up in trying to make price your competitive advantage and make it something else. Because the problem with the price thing is that basically what you're saying is I'm putting my entire positioning and my entire mission behind the fact that I'm just willing to try to charge less. That creates a very difficult environment for you. It means basically that you're going to have to try to operate extremely efficiently, and people are going to get very competitive about that price with you. You've got to find something else that people will want to come do business with you for other than price. Because there's a reason why Walmart's the cheapest. They buy zillions of products all the time, and they get to buy it in such a huge amount that it's going to be cheaper. And they provide very little service, and that's what they do. So what can you beat them on? Beat them on service. Beat them on having products that they can't carry, high quality products. Okay? Beat them on having the next thing that they can't get because it takes them months to get it, and you can get it right now because you make a decision today. Okay?
Easy out.
What now?
Easy in, easy
Easy
out.
in, easy out. You got to take advantage of what you can do as a small business. But by the way, here's my biggest complaint about small business today. The one thing that small business years ago used to beat people on was service. Personalized service. I know you when you walk in, I'm going to give you personalized service. A lot of small businesses I walk in today don't do that. They've gotten lazy. We're running a business and we've gotten into the habit of just doing the business, and it's like we forget. Those customers are your lifeblood. You have to treat them well, and the one advantage you've got is when I walk in Walmart, I can't find somebody to help me. I need to be able to find you. And when I say you, I mean you. And y'all are going, crap, what if I don't want to work? I'm not saying you got to work all the time, but a lot of people are going to deal with your small business because they know you. And they're going to want to see you in there at least a good bit of the time. And then when they get that, they feel very, personal. I know you, you're a good person, you go to my church, you knew my mom or whatever, right? But if it's not you, and you got a 16-year-old filling your spot all the time, and I'm not picking on 16-year-olds, I'm just saying, then they don't get the same type of service. So small business can always win on service. We should be able to. But I can actually get better service sometimes when I walk in a chain than I can in a small business. Because they're teaching them, if they ain't doing it, walk in, and a small business is like, hey, y'all got to provide good service, okay? And go above and beyond. Beverly said earlier, we typically don't tell people when we just get our expectations met. But guess what we will do? We will tell people when we get our expectations exceeded.
Yes, right.
When somebody really goes above and beyond, does a great job, and you almost like, whoa, I didn't even know. Then you walk out going, dude, let me tell you what,
Yeah.
So we got to exceed expectations every day. You know what that means? Stop being lazy. Stop being lazy. Small business people get lazy too, right? It's not like laziness only in one profession. Sometimes we get lazy. And we forget, I got to do a good job. I've got to go above and beyond. The last one talked about technological advances. By the way, you can't ignore technology. There's a reason why the tax industry has been dominated suddenly by the places that pop up at car lots and whatever. Technology. Yeah. Just threw it out there and said, here, anybody can do it. Not saying it's necessarily as good as get professional accountants to do it, but hey, for those people who want it done in 5 minutes, there's a market for it, right? Technology can change everything. And if you own that track, you know where you're really screwed now, right? I just download it right on my phone. I don't need that stuff, right? Movies? Why do we not have Blockbuster?
Because they didn't listen to the market.
Technological advances, right? And they didn't react to it.
That's right.
They got whipped.
They let the trend pass them by.
That's right. They kept thinking people really want to walk in and look for
Right.
these. And find them, and if you get to bring them back at $100, yeah, people want that. No, they don't. They don't want that. right, so, any questions? All right, thank you so much.